right. Well, my name is Lachelle Smith, and I'm the host of Minority Report featuring Black-owned businesses. Minority Report is a YouTube channel where I just interview entrepreneurs. I review their products. I give you honest reviews. And tonight, I'm just so excited because I've been talking and emailing with this beautiful woman who's created a phenomenal, motivational, inspiring product because she just believes that representation matters. And I'm going to let Miss Raveen tell you exactly who she is. We're going to talk about her product and my new friend, Miss Debra. She's so fine. Like, she is so fly. Hey, Miss Raveen, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm awesome. This is like I said, I've been dying to have this conversation with you, talking about your product, talking about Beautiful Blessings, talking about your organization and all of the phenomenal work that you are doing. So go right ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Raveen James. I am the owner of Beautiful Blessings. Uh, let's get into it. So, Beautiful Blessings. Why did I create it? I wanted something that empowered girls and women. And I was like, okay, what's the best way to start them at a young age and recognizing that they are beautiful blessings? And so the concept came with dolls. As a little kid, I loved dolls. I used to play with dolls all the time. And I wanted something that kids can really adapt to, and especially girls. And women, there are some women like doll collectors and folks like that who like playing with dolls or just being a collectible. So that's why I designed it. I designed it, this doll collection, to let every girl and every woman know that we are beautiful blessings.
Oh, right. Amen. That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely. So I'm going to show you exactly what I received in the mail. Like, I love me some Debra. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you who she is. This is one of many of the dolls from Beautiful Blessings. You can see she is decked out in her red suit. She is virtuous. She got her diamonds glistening, her skirt. Sis got her shoes on. She's ready to go. Hair popping. But what I love about her, this is what I need you to notice here. Baby girl is a little thick. If you, sis little thick. This is cornbread fed right here. This ain't Mattel, okay? This is Beautiful Blessings. Let's not get it confused. So talk about this doll. Talk about her. Talk about your inspiration for her, the name that you've given her, why you chose red. Let everybody know, exactly what this doll represents and how she's a reflection of the other women in your life.
So Deborah is Deborah from the Bible. Deborah led an army over with Barak, and it was a army where they won the war, they won the battle. So with who Deborah is from the Bible, Deborah was a prophetess, she was a judge, she was a powerful woman, she was a leader. So with all of those attributes and characteristics of who she is, I was like, oh, powerful. What colors, how do I want to dress her? So I dressed her in red. And then the rhinestones is just for elegance. I just feel as though she's an elegant woman in the way that I picture and characterize Deborah. In addition to that, I wanted girls and women to appreciate their curves. Some girls, some women, we have unfortunately girls who have low self-esteem and confidence issues, and even grown women, girls who have been cutters, who have had personal challenges and their identity and who they are. So I designed the entire doll collection will have curves. This is a curvy collection, and it's to represent us as women and for us to embrace who we are, embrace our curves, embrace our body shapes, embrace our differences, and embrace the different types of women that come together in a unit and how we come together as women.
Now I have so many different questions that I would love to ask you about the doll collection, and the other women that these dolls represent. But before I even get that far, talk to me about a little bit more about your personal life, a little bit more about you coming into your womanhood, and what was it like growing up with you, and the different role models that you had in your life that inspired you. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So I grew up as My mom was a single mom. It was just me and her. My mother was very powerful, very much a role model for me. She did things that traditionally women wouldn't do. My mom worked in construction. Like she could change the tires and change the oil in her car, and I was like, okay, that's a bit much. But I appreciated her strength and the differences that she had as a woman. In addition to that, she was a strong role model. My mother was a hard worker. She believed in education. She believed in Christianity. She had a lot of different input in my life and the reason why I am this way today. And the great thing about it, I've always had strong women all of my life, from time I was in school to my neighborhood. I've had powerful women all around me. So that's probably why I can relate and sort of designed this doll collection. There were so many women, and even women today, even at my church and ministry and things that I've worked with, that I think are powerful women who have sort of uplifted me and make me wanted to do something back and give back to society in this way.
So how do you use these dolls to create a sense of representation, to provide some type of model or mentorship for those women and those girls who don't have the kinds of women in their lives that you have had? You know, we talk about, you know, women empowerment. We talk about Me Too. We talk about, you know, Black Girls Rock. We talk about Black Girl Magic. But not everybody has that. And we definitely need that, you know, because we all overcome by our testimonies. We share our experiences, our hardships, our triumphs. We talk about our valleys. We talk about our mountain peaks. But everybody doesn't necessarily have that. So how were you able to use Beautiful Blessings and the doll line that you've created? How were you able to be, you know, that strong woman for the woman that you can't reach, you know, the woman that is not in your local neighborhood or not at your church or not on your job? How are you able to use your doll to reach those women?
So let's start with a couple of different factors. So the name itself, Beautiful Blessings, that's sort of what I want us to embrace and embody. That's who we are. That's who we were designed to be. So that name, the name of the collection. Two, each doll comes with a motivational message to remind girls and women that they are beautiful blessings. So the characteristics of the doll. So let's talk about Deborah. Deborah's a leader. She's a strong characterization. The message, that the little card that you had within your box, that message is based on who she was as an individual and the type of character she is. So I'm hoping that each woman or kid or girl can identify with that message. And, you know, it's meant to be looked at on a daily basis. Whenever you're feeling low, whenever you feel like, you know, you can't make it, or whenever you feel like there's a struggle that you can't overcome, just know that you were made to be a beautiful blessing, and that there's certain characteristics and unique differences about you that make you that beautiful blessing. So that's the reason why these dolls exist. Those are the messages I want to relay. And then the way the dolls will be dressed and the way they look, and let's talk about the features. So one of the things that for me, when I look at dolls and was going to the stores, it didn't really represent, I didn't feel a representation or a connection to some of those dolls based on the characteristics of how the doll was either looking or how she dressed or how she was designed. So I wanted to design something that was more empowering for all women and girls.
For all women and girls. So there's no age limit. I want to talk about the packaging because you mentioned the motivational message that came in the box. So let's talk about that for a little bit. So number one, the box looks like this. So you get an idea. It has clearly the logo on it here. And I love the fact that it's purple and gold. And it clearly says a positive message card to keep you empowered and inspired every day. It's included with every doll. And it's not just a motivational message, it's also a mirror. So I want to read it quickly. And it says, you are a masterpiece that was made strong, beautiful, and confident. Accomplish your goals and live your dreams. Have the abundant life that was made distinctly for you. Love yourself and show the world who you are designed to become. Reach your destiny. Remember, you lack nothing. and it looks like this. And you can simply like place this in your purse. You can carry this with you. You can post it on your desk. You can put it wherever you have your vision board. Like this plus the doll, it makes it even more phenomenal. It makes it even more significant. It makes it even more important. And then Debra, inside the box, Debra comes in this here packaging. So she's posted up. Honey, I had such a hard time getting the doll out. I tore the box a little bit, but that just goes to show just how anxious I was to get my doll. Like I had to tear the box open. I was not playing. Debra, she is kind. She is ambitious. She has a positive attitude, faithfulness, and good spirit shine through. Her affirming self-image reminds each of us to be the best version of ourselves. So it's just positivity with the doll, with the packaging, with the motivational message that you get with your mirror. Like there's nothing lacking with your product whatsoever. So talk about the business side of it. Because there are a lot now, like, again, like I said, we're talking about Black Girl Magic. We're talking about Me Too. We're talking about representation. We're talking about diversity in the toy industry, right? Because we want to see more of us. We want to see more reflections of us. So talk about what it was like to create this doll with the proportions that I'm a cover sis a little bit. I'm gonna cover sis a little bit because I mean she's definitely what we would like to say slim thick. Okay, so what was it like to create this doll that is well proportioned, realistically proportioned? Because as you can see, I ain't no little woman, so this is just like right up my alley. I could post this up right in my living room or right on the side of my bed or wherever my doll collection is. I can make this a talking piece, instead of having a coffee book, take what's it called, the books, like coffee table books or whatever, and that's your conversation piece when everybody comes in your house. I can place my little Debra right on the table and we can have a whole discussion about her hair, her hat, her integrity, what she represents. But in the toy industry, is there a lot of room for this? Like are you necessarily like just paving your own way? Like what were you able to like break through? Like talk to us about that.
I actually was not. So when I designed this collection, it was more, Beautiful Blessings has empowered me as well as a woman and as a doll owner, doll company owner. So I wasn't trying to say, oh, boom, I'm going to break through the toy market. I really wanted something that I can give to my nieces or to girls that my friends' daughters or my nieces or, any girl that I can find, or some grown women, doll collectors, that sort of, embody, make them uplifting. There is no positivity for our toys out here. There is nothing that says, hey, you can do this, or hey, there's going to be bad days, but you'll get through. There was nothing out there. And then the toys that I did see didn't represent the characteristics that I want to portray for other women and other girls.
No, I mean, even because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 5? I think I have 5 nieces. I done lost track, all these babies. But even in shopping for them, I've literally just given up. I just give them gift cards and say, hey, y'all figure it out on your own, whatever you're into, rock out. Because the dolls that I do see aren't necessarily a reflection of what I want my nieces to embody or practice or emulate. Some of the dolls are more cartoonish, are in age appropriate, their eyes are exaggerated or their lips are exaggerated, and, things like that. The little girls that they see on TV, which is cute and it's okay. But I also want them to have, positive images like this, because this is the woman that they could grow into. Okay. So it's like, when you're a child, you do childish things. When you, become fully grown, adult, then you develop certain characteristics. And this is what I would aspire them to be. So now, like, I need more information about what is coming up next, because I know, well, not only just what's coming up next, but the other ladies in the doll line collection. Like, I need names. I need what they wearing. I need to know what's coming up, next, where can I get more outfits? I need all the details because I'm going to post Debra up, but I don't want her to be lonely. She needs some sister
Right.
girlfriends on my living room table. Like, tell me about the other girls in the.
So, this lady was my first style, and she's the one that was in. If you go to my website or brochures, you'll see that website, YouTube, or either on Facebook. She's the doll that's in all white. Um, there are 15 dolls in this collection. This collection will represent almost every ethnicity. That was something else I wanted to do. How do we break these different opinions and how people see people culturally without showing something positive from each culture? So I want to embody and show all the girls, women, that, the differences in the culture and styles and clothes and even features. So Deborah was really built as an African American woman. When I designed her with that in mind. Her facial features, her lips, her nose, her ears, her hands, her feet, everything that when I designed that doll, I wanted her to say, wow, this is a Black woman that I can embrace, love, and be like. She's also dressed in a suit. There was, I don't see dolls dressed in certain different clothing and different styles, and it's either they're super trendy or I don't see anything like my doll.
There you have like 15 dolls in this collection. Where do you go from here?
I am making a lot of accessories. I want to bring out more accessories this holiday season, hopefully with all the manufacturing things I have in mind. We're going to see what else may come out. In addition to that, I do support sororities, different sororities, so AKAs. Actually, she's in red, Deborah's in red, so Delta's kind of like her. I am going to bring forth something for Zeta and something for Sigma Rho as
Okay.
well.
All right. So we got the
Hmm.
sororities, we got the young girls, we have grown women. I'm trying to think, is there any other demographic that you could possibly be missing? And at this point, I would definitely have to say no. You got the collectors, or you have little girls or grown women who just want to, play with dolls. And, you got the Greek paraphernalia going. Like, okay, you touching on everybody. And I absolutely love that. So now what I really need for us to know, I want to pivot a little bit and push more towards the business side. What advice do you have for women, period, who are entrepreneurs, whether they are in startup phase or if they've been in business for a long time? What can you say to them to encourage them? Because this is encouragement. Like, yes, you make dolls, but you're definitely in the business of encouragement and inspire and being an inspiration. So what
Okay.
advice do you have to women right now who are, either considering going into entrepreneurship or they've already jumped in head first?
Yeah, so I did a lot of questions. I have friends who are also entrepreneurs. I have friends who are in clothing retail. I didn't have nobody else to talk to about toys and dolls because it was just me. But I really did it's like, okay, well, what struggles do you have? So some of this is, I have different opinions, depending on the individual. So I've had friends who quit their jobs and dived right in, which can somewhat be stressful because I will tell you this, when you're a startup, getting financial support from banks or from different lending institutions is challenging, because they want to see revenue. They want to see, what's your sales, what's your numbers. And when you're new, you don't have that yet. Especially for the type of product of what I'm doing, the type of entrepreneur I am. I had to get products, I had to get prototypes, I had to do a whole bunch of different things. It takes a lot to build a dog. So that's one thing. I kept working. I was like, okay, until I can get to a place where I can be financially secure with the business, I'm going to keep working to support and build the business. It's really what I would tell women. You can do it. It's not, is it hard? Absolutely. You're going to have your challenges, but, do stuff that you're passionate about. I mean, if there's a passion and if there's a dream and a desire and you want to do go for it from an entrepreneur or a business relationship, do it. But I think the biggest success for when you do a business is that you're not considering strictly yourself. Think about your audience. Think about the people you're going to be working with. How can you impact their lives? What kind of person you're going to be in this role? You know, those are all important factors, because you want to build a relationship in a business that sustains throughout time. So those are key factors. But understand that, you know, it's not an overnight success. It takes time. It takes
Absolutely.
time. You do it, you know, have your, you know, financially, you can either jump feet forward and hit in and don't have that financial support. I do know women who have done it that way. Or you can work and build slowly. However works best for you, that's what I would tell you to do.
Okay, so tell me about we'll talk about for those individuals who are creating a product from scratch, right? So we know, you can wholesale, right? Right, of course. You can wholesale, products, or, people who are whipping up, skincare, hair care, they're doing that thing in their kitchen or whatever. But to develop something like this, what is the process for, creating the prototype, the drawings, or, how do you get to that place, for individuals who want to either make a doll or, something that requires definitely originality, right? Where you're not duplicating something else. How do you do that, or what is that process like, or what was that process like for you?
Focus, diligence, and consistency. Um, for me, it, like you said, you know, I designed that based on how I saw myself, how I've seen other women. It was more personal for the way I designed this toy. And like I said, I wanted something for friends, daughters, nieces, you know, my future family, female members, where so they had something to embrace and something that they can call their own. For me, I designed this toy because I couldn't find anything. I got frustrated. I got tired of trying to find dolls, and I play with dolls, and I know the impact of what dolls can mean for a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
or even for a grown woman. I know grown women who have $2,000 and $3,000 dolls in their house. I've met some of them.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, I was like, okay, well, you know, the market wasn't the same. It was even hard for me. And you know, one of the key things my mother tried to instill in me that, you know, as black is beautiful. It's okay. You're a beautiful woman. And we didn't have a lot of black dolls back then. And it's sad to say we still don't. Even in this day and age, you know, we have, of course, evolved and have more toys
Mm-hmm.
and more dolls, but it's not to the point where so you can walk into a store and have a collection or see a vast difference. And that was a little bit frustrating for me.
Right. And I think it now we're in a place where we are starting to see more representation. I think parents, specifically Black women, I think we've made enough requests where we were saying, yes, we want to be included. Yes, we want to see us in movies and plays and advertisements and on
Mm-hmm.
toy shelves. And I know that there are plenty of women like you who have gone out and said, you know what, forget it. I'm not waiting on nobody else. I'm just going to go ahead and do it myself. And for those who don't necessarily see the significance of a doll like this, and you're not a collector, and you're trying to find out, why does this matter? Ask your daughter. Ask your mother, ask your mother, ask the other women in your life, especially older women, our senior saints. Ask them what it was like growing up and not having that representation. And then when you talk to your daughters, when they see girls who look like them on TV, my sister told me a couple weeks ago that, because I usually wear big hair, like crochets and afros, and like I usually wear big hair, but it's summertime and I said forget, I ain't doing all that. But my niece was watching, my 2-year-old, my baby, my niece is watching TV, and she saw a woman on TV that was, my complexion and with big hair, and she's pointing at the TV and she's saying, auntie, auntie, and she just knew that that was me on TV. So it does matter, that representation does matter. Having dolls, and seeing ourselves in magazines and on TV and in
Right.
movies, it absolutely matters. Matter of fact, if you like, even if you still are, conflicted and you still don't think, Google Jane Elliott's Blue Eyes. Jane Elliott, white woman, activist. Basically, she educates white people on racism, period. And she did a test and she gave young black children baby dolls, a white doll and a black doll, and basically said,
Mhm.
which doll is the good doll? And children, young children, impressionable children pointed to the white doll as the good doll, and they saw themselves in the black doll, and they thought that the black doll was horrible or bad, or just not worthy or not good, period. So yes, these types of things, they matter. We need this kind of representation. We need more of it. Please tell everyone where they can find you: physical location, online location, social media, email, how people can get in contact with you for if they want you to come and be a speaker, or they want you to come and vend at an event, or speak to young girls, or empower women, older women, anyone who needs to hear your message. Let them know where they can find you.
Okay, so you can find my product at www.iamabeautifulblessing. You can reach out to me via email, and my email address is info@iamabeautifulblessings.com. On my website, you can reach that number, and there's a phone number there that you can contact me as well. You can also leave any message on my website, and I will see that message as well. You triggered something for me. I do work with kids in schools. I've been flying to different schools as we speak, uh, talking about the message of empowerment to little girls. What I found interesting is that when I talk to the little girls, and these are little girls from ages 4 up into their teenage years, a lot of people don't talk to them. When they talk about dolls, and when you talk about building dolls, people go and build dolls, but no one ever talks to the little girl that's going to be playing with the doll. So my biggest advocates are the kids. They call, I talk to them and ask them what they like, what they don't like, what would you like to see? And it was really interesting to hear little girls at age 8, 7, 6. So it's about time that we had dolls that truly were realistic in body shape for
No, I
both.
mean, definitely. When you, even young girls, right? When I say young girls, I'm talking about girls who are 6, 7, 8, anywhere between, 6 and preteenish age. If you look at young girls today, they don't look like the girls that I grew up with. They don't look like me at that age. Girls now are starting their menstruation a lot younger. They are developing a lot younger. And I think this will be a great tool to use to talk about the changes that they're seeing in their body. Because yes, that 12-year-old may have a body of a 18-year-old, but mentally, emotionally, psychologically, she's still a little girl, right? So
Yeah.
I think that this would be a phenomenal way to talk to her about her hips, her curves, and how she's going to be perceived when she walks out into the world, how those hips and those curves are going to attract certain kinds of attention, how she should carry herself, that she should look at her hips and her curves as something positive, not something that she should hide, but something that she should also cherish. I think that that's very, very, very important. Even the example that I gave earlier with the blue eye, brown eye test. Again, if you've never seen that before, it's on YouTube. Check Jane Elliott. A little kid, she tells all the kids with blue eyes are good, and all the kids with brown eyes are bad. And those kind of things, they stick with children. So we need to get to them as early as possible before they become, women, and they're attracting the wrong attention, or they don't know how to handle negative comments, or they don't know how to handle positive comments, looking for attention in the wrong places. So I really firmly believe that this beautiful blessing is absolutely that. It is a beautiful blessing. Gift a friend, gift yourself, gift a young woman in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in to Minority Report, and I will check you out next time.